Now that we've created the seeds.rb and we know the structure of the products we want to put in the database, we're now in a good position to actually create the product object and the database table for it. And we know we're unlikely to forget fields now because we've gone through and looked at what information we need to store. So let's go into a terminal window and let's Rails G to generate a model, and let's call it product. Notice the capital P there. And this is going to create a number of files. It's going to create a couple that we need and a couple we don't. We need the app models product.rb. That's going to be where we can add any functionality to the product object in the future. And we're definitely going to need the migration, that second file. But the two test files, I'm a huge fan of having test files, but you only want to have them if you have real tests in them. And because we're not writing tests for this particular project, we should delete those files so we're not lying to other developers who come along saying, hey, look, we have tests, when we don't. So I'm going to rm to remove or delete the test fixtures, products.yaml, and also remove the test models product test. Great. So now if we look at our git status, we've just got the two files we want. Now let's go into Sublime Text and we're going to go open up this new database migration, which we're going to use to create the products table. And let's go put in the fields that we need. We need a string, which is going to be the title. And then we need a few things similar to that. Let's use that as a starting point. We need a subtitle. We need the author. That's also a string. We're going to need the description. Now that needs a lot of room. So rather than a string, which has a limited length, let's make it a text field. So it's going to a bunch more strength to work. We're also going to need a string for the SKU to uniquely identify it. And then in addition, we're going to need to have a price for the product. And that is going to want to be, there are different data types we could use, but we're going to want to use a decimal for that. That should be what we need, so we can save this. And then what we're going to do is go run the rake db migrate. So let's go into a terminal. Let's clear this up. And let's just git status, make sure we're where we expect to be. That's right, we've just got the product.rb and the new migration. And so what we're going to do is we're going to rake db migrate. And when we do that, it's going to go create the products table for us. Now let's save that. So let's have a look at our git status. We got a modified and a couple of untracked files. So let's add them all and commit them with a message of added products table and model, so that we're keeping track of where we're at. And then finally, we're in a position where now we can load the seed data. So let's rake db seed. And what this is going to do is this is going to load that seed product information into the database for us locally. The next thing, of course, we're going to have to do is move all of this information into the application. And so in the next section, what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to look at everywhere that product information is referenced in the views or in the controller, and we're going to make that call the product from the database instead.